Now I will explain about the hypothesis test. So in the hypothesis test, what we need to determine first of all is the multiple linear regression analysis, and then the t-test, and then f-test. And after that, you can determine the coefficient of determination. So we go on first to the multiple linear regression analysis, in which you need to show the regression equation. So this is the set of data from the previous video. After all of your classical assumption tests are passed, you can go on to the hypothesis test. So we go to the output. Okay, this is the first output, yeah, of the regression, and now we want to uh, generate the regression equation. So the regression equation will start from the y variable, which is ROA, equals to, we put the constant first. So the constant, we will focus on the b, which is the beta. Okay, so the constant beta is minus 0.204. So minus 0.204. And then we continue to the first independent variable, which is cash turnover ratio. So the beta is minus 0.017. So you just type 0.017 CTR, or stands for the cash turnover ratio. And then the receivables turnover ratio is 0.055 positive. So plus 0.055 receivables turnover ratio. Okay, so this is your multiple linear regression analysis. Okay, and then you will explain later on how is the negative or the positive effect towards the ROA. Okay, so the second one is about the t-test. So we still use the same table for the t-test. Okay, just that we'll focus on the t column and the p value. So if the t count is more than the t table and the p value is less than 0.05, then it is significant. So if the t count is less than t table, then the p value is more than 0.05, then it's not significant. So for the negative one, this is if the minus t count is less than minus t table. For the negative one, this one is if the minus t count is more than minus t table. So as we can see here, for the cash turnover ratio, it is minus 0.942 for the t count. So the cash turnover ratio, the minus 0.942 for the t count. So we need to determine how much is the t table. Okay, so the t table you need to find in the internet about the t table. So when you see the t table, find the two tail, okay, and then 0.05, okay, and then you determine your df. So df in t table is n minus 1, so it means your total data minus 1. My data have 10, okay, there are 10 data minus 1, so it's 9. So we find the intersection 9 and then 0.05. So 2.262. That is your t table value. So in negative, it is minus 2.262. Okay, so it means here the minus t count is more than the minus t table. And then we see that the significance is 0.378. So, and then p value 0.378 more than 0.05. So this one is not significant for cash turnover ratio. And then we go on to receivables turnover ratio. The T count is 8.3030, and then your T table is 2.262, your T table. So this is more than, okay, if positive more than, and then your P value is 0.000, so less than 0.05. So this is significant because the positive one, as you can see, T count is more than T table, P value less than 0.05, significant. Okay, so that's for the T test. It means that cash turnover ratio has no significant influence towards ROA, and receivables turnover ratio has significant influence towards ROA. And then we go on to F test. So for F test, actually it is quite similar with the T test. Okay, so if the F count is more than the F table and the P value is less than 0.05, it is significant. And then if the F count is less than the F table and P value is more than 0.05, it is not significant. So as we can see here, when we want to find the F count, you go to ANOVA table. So ANOVA, this one, the F column 36.721, that is the F count. And then we need to find the F table. So you download the F table, okay, the 0.05 or 5%. And then there are two DF for F test. DF1, okay, it is K minus 1, okay, and then DF2, it is N minus K minus 1, okay. So our K is independent variable. We have two independent variable minus 1, so it is 1 for N for DF1, and then DF2, it is N minus K minus 1, so N is 10, your total data, minus K2 minus 1, so it is 7. Okay, so here it is 5.59 for the F table. So this is more than, and then our P value is 0.000, so less than 0.05. It means it is significant. So we can say that both the cash turnover ratio and receivable turnover ratio, okay, have simultaneously have significant influence towards ROA. The last one is coefficient of determination. We find it in here, okay, the model summary, and what we find is the adjusted R squared. Okay, so 0.888, so 0.888 minus times 100%. So your coefficient of determination is 88.8%. This means that both cash turnover ratio and receivables turnover ratio can explain the variance in ROA, 88.8%. The 11.2% or the remaining percentage is explained by other factors. Okay, so there's about the hypothesis test.